In other words, the other car is at FL, finish line, that it crosses now, and already the car is going through the Mulsanne kink. That is the lead that number 8 car has got. 353 laps it has completed. Big smile there for Fred Mako. Patrick Pitlane on the right-hand side from the car on the other side of the garage. Yeah, big smiles, big laughs. Their work is done. They can't do any more except nervously watch. 2 hours to go here at Le Mans. Toyotas 1 and 2, 93 seconds their advantage, 11 laps ahead of the 2 Rebellions. Then we've got the G-Drive 26 that has led this race in LMP2. Signatech Alpine, then the Graf, number 39, ahead of the United Auto Sports car, TDS. They had that clutch problem, they've got it going. Then Jackie Chan, Dragon Speed, the jumbo yellow Nederland car, Eurasia, Jackie Chan, etc., etc. Porsche, it's the Pink Pig that leads the retro 956 colour scheme, the Rothmans car in 91, and as you've seen, the 68 Ford, that is currently being driven by Joey Hand. And in GTE AM, it's the number 77 Dempsey Proton car, Matt Campbell, the Aussie, who is in there at the moment. He is ahead of the Spirit of Race Ferrari and the Keating Motorsports car.
Yeah, Keating Motorsport having that gravel trap moment a while ago with Ben Keating down at the Mulsanne corner, dropped them from 2nd to 3rd, still in the podium spot. So in the AM class, we have 2 regular season entries, and then Keating Motorsport, which is an IMSA entry. So the points will go Project 1, that's not a regular season entry. To the 99, no, that's not a regular season entry. To Clearwater Racing will be effectively 3rd as far as World Championship points are concerned. Matt Griffin at the wheel of the 61 Ferrari in 6th position. But our leader, the number 8 Toyota, as Fernando Alonso said, either he or the tyre, or he and the tyre particularly got switched on and hooked up during the night, and they reeled in a 2-minute deficit over their behind their teammates, and have basically turned it into getting on for a 2-minute advantage. Well, let's get back down to the Porsche team. One of the IMSA Porsches is still running. We saw Patrick Pitlane in the garage. It's his car. He's with Duncan Vincent.
So you were just telling me there off air that you would like to have been in that battle with the Ford, because, you know, it's the type of thing that you're into. I think last year Peter Dumbrek said you're a tiger of a driver and you do like to get stuck in.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to see a battle like this. I mean, Bourdais was not so happy about it, but just maybe because he gets his ass kicked. But no, it was nice. For me, that's racing. That's why we're doing this job for a moment like this. It was nothing dangerous. It was always under control. And yeah, it was nice to watch. I mean, we keep the finger crossed for the sister cars. For us, it was a bit difficult, but anyway, that's a part of racing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
You were having a good conversation with Fred there. What were you two guys talking about? Remember, we're live on television here.
I mean, he just told me that that it was a great fight, that he gave everything, that he was tough, for sure. I know him, he make a great job. Also at the end of 24 hours of Nürburgring, so he's in a good mood at the moment. And yeah, I wish him the best until the end. I hope they have a chance to keep this position until the end.
And one straight side, kind of a weirder question, would you like to have had these colour schemes that these guys are driving in?
I mean, yeah, they are cool. To be honest, I really love the Rothmans one.
The blue one?
Yeah, but it seems that the pig car was a good choice this year. But no, anyway, I was really proud to be also with my US team, and maybe I hope we will be back next year with four different livery. Why not? No, it was great. I have no regrets. I'm really happy to be here and with my team, with my teammates. We make a great job. It's just bad luck, but we will be back next year. I'm pretty sure about it.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
You're Patrick Pitlane, a tiger of a driver, as our own Le Mans winner Peter Dumbrek called him last year.
Indeed. Peter, Poets' Day Dumbrek, I think you'll find. So, all right, well, if we can get Fred Mekaveki as well to doubly underlined the fact that all that weaving and easing drivers off the road at 160 miles an hour was just mere hijinks and absolutely as safe as houses, then let's go for that. Hello to Kelly McNish, who has got the washing dry and is busy listening to her friends on the telly. And I quote, "He who loves a rule book."
Yes, I couldn't imagine who it is. Is that the rule book about how to stack the dishwasher?
Yeah, that's a very different rule. But let's get down to the pit lane with Duncan Vincent before Alan McNish kills us all with Fred McAvinky.
Can I also say hi to Kelly McNish, just to take this opportunity to...
No time for that, I'm afraid.
Fred, talk us through that battle with the Ford. You're smiling already. Talk us through the battle with Sebastian Bourdais.
Yeah, apparently he's not happy, but I think, well, for sure, I have been hard. No doubt about that, but he was also... if he say no, I mean, he just need to remember what happened at the exit of first chicane and Arnage. I would say for sure. I mean, we are there for the podium in Le Mans, and here, you know, it's so hard because when you are ahead of the car, by the slipstream, the car from the back can easily follow you or overtake you, and it's always hard, you know, you always need to find a compromise.
It looked like two drivers not wanting to give each other an inch, but there was some respect there because there was no contact.
Yeah, at any time we touch each other, that's why. But for sure, I mean, on some point, sometime when you are at 250 or close to 300 and you start to lose the overall downforce because you are really side by side, it starts to be tricky.
And how are the thoughts of the team anyway? You know, it's been a great run so far in the Le Mans for both the cars in this garage. The morale seems very high right now.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, if we can get the double victory, it could be awesome. But it's still close of 2 hours to go. I would say for sure we have a competitive car and we'll fight until the end, but not easy.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Thanks. Here you go, guys.
Double victory being a 1-2 rather than winning twice.
Well, they are still leading the GTE AM category with Porsche at least, but yes, double bubble.
Exactly so. G-Drive starting to look a little bit buoyant and happy, but there's an hour and 53 minutes to go. 22 hours down, and we're into the final 2 hours of the race. So who is going to come out on top? At the moment, our favourites are, well, the number 8 Toyota over this car, its number 7 teammate. Our favourites are definitely the 26 G-Drive car, which has two laps in hand over the 36 Cinetec Alpine car in LMP2. Porsche 1-2 is starting to look relatively likely, although Joey Hans Ford is only 7 seconds behind the R-word Porsche of Richard Leitz. And in the AM class, Matt Campbell, the Dempsey Proton car, is 1 lap ahead of Francesco Castellacci's Ferrari in 2nd spot.
On board with Kamui Kobayashi, he was significantly slower on top speed on the last lap, but he did the same lap time as the car in front of him, the car leading this race, Kazuki Nakajima. Nothing between them, 3 minutes 20.8, 3 minutes 20.1 on the last circulation. But a 1/10 of a second here, a half a second there is not going to be the make or break for the 7 car, which is in 2nd position. That's the leader of this motor race, the Toyota TS050. Coming through all the rubber, all the marbles, all the great chunks of the things. I mean, some of them are 10 centimeters in diameter, and those are the kind of chunks of rubber that can get caught up in the aerodynamics, in the gauze before the radiator, thrown up by cars in front of them, make the marks all over the front of the car, make the marks all over the front of the windscreen that necessitates the mechanics to clean the car up. He slides it into the left-hander, a little bit of a drift through there as it silently wafts its way up the gearbox and down the hill.
Andy Priaulx has just stepped out of the 67 Ford for the final time. He's with Duncan Vincent.
Yeah, he was about to leave me there. I was getting a bit nervous. I've opened the mic and he walks away. Andy, that's you. Is that you done for the 2018 Le Mans then?
That's me done. I think I've had about 10.5 hours in the car, so I'm happy to be done. I had a really good day in the office, and you know, we're fighting. We're between 3rd and 4th, and I think, you know, we probably had the opportunity to win today, but we got unlucky with the safety car and a drive-through and a couple of little issues like that. So, but all in all, really happy with my race.
Can you get 3rd though? Because remember last year, remember Harry at the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's ebbing and flowing at the moment. Both guys are quick. We're a little bit out of sync on the pit stops. We had a short fuel, which was a bit of a mistake. So that's put us a bit out of sync on the stops. But, you know, it depends when the race ends and how it ends. We've got a chance.
You know, considering you've done 10.5 hours in a car, this garage smells amazing with the food you guys eat.
Yeah, I was so hungry out there. I couldn't wait to get in and have my breakfast. It was, you know, it's always nice to drive that sort of early morning stint around Le Mans here. Obviously, it's what time is it now? 1 o'clock. I think I've been in the car for hours and hours. I've forgotten what time it is, what day it is, but it's just a pleasure to drive. But by the end of your stint, you're feeling hungry because you can smell all the barbecues and all the food around the circuit, so you get a bit peckish.
Well, a podium would certainly make you feel better as well.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we don't get it, it's unlucky, but you know, we've done our best and the team have done a great job, and you know, awesome, so I'm happy.
Well done on a good Le Mans, well done.
I've known Andy Priaulx for 23, 24 years. He's banjaxed. I can hear it in his voice. He's absolutely got no more fuel in the tank. 10.5 hours, and we've been racing for 22. He's got no more fuel in the tank. That's maximum effort. You were touching on it earlier, Martin. They cannot get the thing round any quicker.
And he sounds like he's absolutely hank as well. And that's the problem, you know, you're driving past all these huge campsites and everybody's been frying bacon since 9, 8, 7 in the morning and still are. They're having brunch, they're having whatever for lunch. And, you know, when you're driving a racing car with no pollen filters, no aircon, no scrubbers, no nothing, you know, you smell everything as you go past. In fact, great story from Nürburgring 24. Jamie Chadwick told us her first stint, she thought she had something burning in her Aston Martin because she could smell barbecues, but she could also smell something on fire. And it wasn't until she'd done a couple of laps she realised that there were people with like wood fires and so on going beside the track, and you'd go past one and then 30 seconds later you'd get the smell in the car, and it wasn't the car, it was the outside. So there's all those things going on that you never even give a thought to when you're watching on the TV.
And of course, because it's the Nürburgring, the wood that they're burning on the fires is softwood, so it's a bit more aromatic than some of the fires that we get in the UK. It's all those things that you'd never think of until you're on your third lap.
It's because they've only just cut the tree down.
Yeah, quite. A little bit wet.
Yeah, a little bit damp. So here in the LMP2 class, this is the 39 car, which is currently in third place, although they've clearly got a bit of a light issue because it doesn't show it as being in third place on that side or on that side. Now, shouldn't they be in the pits to get that sorted out?
Yeah, it might be at the next pit stop. You don't necessarily get stopped for that, but at the next pit stop, you've got the opportunity to rectify it. And it's quite clear in the regulations that all lights have to be illuminated.
Now, I know it's mandatory that you have to have the illuminated panel. Is it mandatory that those markers...
It doesn't specify panel or light, it says illumination.
Nico Lapierre about to take the place of Andre Negrão in the number 36 Alpine. There goes Lapierre.
Now, you know, talk about bolting in sports car racing superstar. He is their ace in the hole. No question at all that Lapierre has got the pace. He's not, like everybody else, absolutely infallible, but if you're chasing the leader and you've got an hour and 3/4 to go, then that's the time to load with Lapierre.
I always love that look when he gets in the car, that onboard camera looking back into his eyes. He's got that look of, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get wound up about this. Not go mad, not go over the limit. He's a professional racing driver. He knows where the limit is, and he's just about 0.5% this side of it. But I just love the look of, right, I'm going to hang it out. New rubber on the Alpine, as we have a replay of the 68 Ford. This is Joey Hand. How close can it get to the edge of the curb on the exit of Indianapolis?
Now, Alan, we talk sometimes about why running off the track can cause punctures. It's not always the stones. Look at the edge of that concrete. If you ran your finger along it, you'd take the skin off. If you run the inside edge of a tyre along it, you take the rubber off.
It's not the main part of the tyre, it's actually the inside edge of the tyre, the sidewall and the inner sidewall. And there's a little bit of fragility there because that is what really gives the construction of the tyre its strength and consistency. But that is a beautiful artistic shot.
That's
maybe
Yves,
not necessarily
our slow motion cameraman who also works with us on the World Touring Cars. And he does know a thing or two about slow-mo. The indefatigable Duncan Vincent has collared Thomas Laurent for us.
Yes, Thomas, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of time here. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time. First of all, the Rebellion cars, they're going very strongly.
Yeah, both cars in third and fourth place, so it's a good sign for the moment. We had some small issue during all the races for both cars, but it's going okay for the moment.
Third and fourth, do you think that there could have been a possibility of, you know, a first or a second?
We will push for it. It depends only if the Toyotas have an issue or something like that, but we can't fight with them. They are 11 or 12 laps ahead, so we can't.
What's your plans? Are you back in the car, or is that you now finished?
I'm back in the car in a few minutes, in 20, 30 minutes, till the end of the race. So yeah, it will be a fight between the sister cars.
And being a local man, what a way to finish Le Mans being in the car, yes?
Yeah, it's amazing. Actually, I did the start, I will do the finish, so it's amazing for me.
Good luck, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, while we're listening to that interview, you saw the puncture there for the car that is fourth in LMP2, Hugo de Sadelaer in the 32 United Autosports car, 9 seconds in front of the delayed TDS car, and that was at the last split. Have they gone by?
It was already 40 seconds that they've gained in the middle sector, so it's going to be a swift change very, very soon. In fact, it just has changed now because...
well, there's the Cinetic Alpine car putting him a lap down.
Yeah, the TDS car was going through Arnage.
By the way, in the battle for the lead, that man in car number 8 has just set the fastest middle sector of the entire race of any car. So, resting laurels not. 1 hour 43 minutes to go, which is 1 hour 50 minutes before we're going to know probably who's actually won the 86th Le Mans 24 hours. And that is a full Grand Prix distance. So Kazuki Nakajima starting basically a Formula 1 race to try and win Le Mans. At every sort of time interval, we're counting down to smaller and smaller race distances, but it is still a very long time to be spending holding your breath. I think 20 seconds was my personal best when I was a kid. 2 hours is rather a long while. The 97 Aston Martin still going, very much delayed. 14th in class, but I think still scoring World Championship points because it's got some non-World Championship entries in front of it. But it is just about to be lapped by the Pink Pig of Kev Sinestra. There is the Aston, there is the GTE Pro Class leader, coming up behind the Keating Motorsport Ferrari that's third in the AM category. See the Pro Class cars with the green backing to the numbers, green marker lights on the side. And pulls up behind the Keating car, your own Blake Molan. No slouch in a Ferrari or previously in his Super Cup career in a Porsche either. Through goes
look at the front of that car, just look at the muck. I mean, as we touched on hours ago, it's not so easy to change the front ends and the bodywork on these GT cars as it is on the prototypes, but it just shows that that is the one and only set of bodywork that has done the 24-hour race. Remember that the Toyotas have got 3 or 4 sets of bodywork that have been splattered by the bugs and the flies and the rubber, but that Porsche is absolutely unique.
And thank God for that, because when it goes into the museum, it'll look like it's led a hard life, and that poor little piggy has been made to run awfully hard.
This little piggy went all the way home.
This little piggy went to Le Mans. This little piggy came home with, well, let's see,
Martin, let's see.
You just see the Project 1 car that lies 4th in GTE AM sailing through the chicane. No damage done, luckily that time, but was there a cause? Now, looking at our timing screen, we have officially retired the 48 car. We have done that. The 22 car, Paul di Resta, we did that. I think we've retired everything that's been retired, actually.
The other United Autosports car, has it stopped on the track? Is that the S, or does it mean it stopped? So away from our cameras, it had that rear left puncture.
Now, what happens is it stopped. It gets down to a certain speed, and then even though it might be moving, it can be shown as stopped. He's in the pits now, is he?
Yeah, he's in the pit. There he is. The carcass has just about stabilised. stayed on. Bodywork doesn't look too damaged. Might have got away with it. It didn't flap and flail. It's just a hoop that has been sort of held on somehow by the tyre wall that will still be attached by the bead inside the inside edge of the rim. Our cable cam traces his progress down into the garage. They've got under the door with that one.
Yeah, good job by Hugo de Sadelaire to bring it back with very minimal damage. And full set of tyres, full service. He'll get fuel. Doors are not open. Do you want to stay in? Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, we don't need to see this. We know he's in the he's in the pits. We need to see if he's going in the garage.
It was just a close escape for the 37 car, which was right behind them and took the position coming into the pit lane. So actually that was
granted.
A very important pass for the 37 car. It moves them one spot further up the order.
And they're not going to put it in the garage. Again, another team that has been using bodywork left, right and centre. They haven't liveried that other side, but it doesn't matter. The air doesn't know if it's got a sticker or a colour or anything on it. All they need to do is to make that car work. Fuel going in, the number 92, the leader of GTE Pro. That is Kevin Estra. Mechanic leaping over the bonnet to make sure that he can see exactly where he's going. He's got all the fluid, he's got everything all sorted, and that car still has a lead of some 2 minutes. Can this little piggy run all the way home?
We're out of pig jokes now.
He said that the air doesn't know about whether it's stickered or not, but if there's a lot of stickers on it, the weight of the car does. And they have to consider that if they put bodywork on an engine cover or noses or something that is completely plain carbon and not stickered up and fabloned up, then there is a weight difference.
They're not going to be underweight, are they? Are they running that close? Is your implication?
Right,
could be.
24 hours, you know, blank wear, everything else, and the Toyota's going slow. Seven's going slow here. This is Kobayashi, and he's coming out to the first chicane on the inside line, going down towards the second chicane. 80 kilometers per hour, first gear.
50 miles an hour. He is going very slowly. Hour and 38 minutes to go.
And it's only just happened because his first split was comparable with the leader of this race at 32. He lost 5 seconds in the first split. So it's just happened. And he is limping home. Here we are, 1 hour and 38 minutes to go. He's got the hazards flashing.
What's the Japanese for "oh no, not again"?
This is the second car. This is
full course zero, Camry, full course zero. Full course zero button, 80 kph, and you come back to the pit.
Okay,
this is a failure system, so they've gone to the full course yellow map, 80 kph to reduce a problem. It's a kind of get you home system. But I'm not sure for what reason.
Yes, to stop it overheating, isn't it? That's because otherwise you use too many revs and the car overheats and then it boils before you get back because the radiators are tiny and don't get the airflow.
It depends what the actual problem is here.
He's in first gear, and what alarms are we seeing? Well, it's got red lights flashing everywhere, Al, but you need to know what the steering wheel says before you know what the red lights mean.
But also, Alan, you've mentioned it with other cars in this motor race. If it happens to one, might it happen to the other? The nerves in that Toyota garage will be beyond on edge.
And how do you think they're feeling in the Rebellion garage, just by the way?
Well, they're 12 laps behind.
12 laps.
They've got 1:37, so they can definitely do it.
They've got about half the race left. If the Toyota doesn't move any further, they will get into second.
And
second and third.
You had to do a lap at a minimum time of 6 minutes 2 years ago. The last lap of the race. What are the rules now? Because it got changed for last year after the Toyota. Is that in your magic 105-page rule book? I don't know which page. I'm sorry, Alan.
It's in the local. It's in the
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm trying to say.
Let's see what happens with Kobayashi. As now he's still limping down towards Mulsanne corner.
I know.
Here goes the Porsche. Because you don't expect, even though there are white flags, you don't expect a slow-moving vehicle to be that slow-moving. You should, because obviously, if it wasn't moving that slowly, they wouldn't be white flags. But nevertheless.
So the number 7 Toyota in second position. It was a minute and a half behind the leader. And here we go. We're on board. Let's just listen. and immediately it's gone, and there is the AM car pulling away. How unlucky is he to do a complete lap with a problem?
The driver in the Ferrari is going, what are you doing?
I've let you pass.
Hold on.
Yeah. It just went blue.
Yeah, but he still accelerated out of the corner, so he had the acceleration coming out of the corner. It was a lift off.
So is it a hybrid system?
No. Normally that's recuperation would be at that end. He lifted off the throttle for some reason.
But he
did have power coming out of the corner.
He's got ICE. He's got internal combustion engine. So he's not trying to get back on electric power only, because we know that that didn't succeed very well the last couple of years.
Well, there are the Rebellion guys. They're in third at the moment. They are 11 laps back, but that car, if it goes into the pits, can it keep that 11-lap lead? Hour and a half to go. Will it be able to do the last lap towards 3 o'clock? Those are all the questions that nobody knows the answer to at the moment. 3.5 minutes a lap. If it doesn't move, it'll take them 11 times 3.5 minutes. 33, 4... 45, 48, nearly 50 minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's got to do that last lap.
Exactly. Better part of an hour to get through.
You have to take the flag, no matter you've done more laps than someone else.
Kazuki, just to give you a heads up, car 7 is slow after turn 14, car 7 slow after turn 14. Thing to be worried about on your side, just forgot to put the fuel in the car.
And now it's got going again. Now it's come back to life. It's recuperated itself. It's alive.
He has been flicking through pages on the screen at a million miles an hour, has he?
He just said he forgot to put fuel in the car.
I'm sorry, what?
That's what the radio message said that I understood, was forgot to put fuel in the car. Maybe I must be wrong in that, but he's now back to full speed. I'm sorry, I can't help you on this particular one. It's rather strange.
I'm not quite sure what to say. In comes the number 7 Toyota, however. They can't. Maybe they didn't get all the fuel in it that they were expecting. You can't forget to fuel a car. It's the first thing that everyone does. I mean, I didn't quite understand the message either, but...
They're just checking and cleaning.
Yeah. Well, I know what the conspiracy theorists are going to say immediately. Right, well, there's Duncan. He's going to try and get a word with Pascal Vasselon. If you're ready, Dunk, then let's have you.
So now he goes down the pit lane.
Yeah. Now the fuel hoses went up. Was there a sign at pit exit that said track humide?
Yes, but it's been there all the time.
Right, okay. You'd think they'd have something other than a bloke who has to stand there with the board. You'd think it was like on a stick. Oh, goodness. High drama there for a moment for the Toyota team, and I wonder if that's the end of it.
We've gone quiet because we're just trying to process what's just happened and what might happen in the remaining hour and a half. We are all shaking our heads.
Absolutely gobsmacked, I'm afraid. That's why I can't. I'm still struggling. Oh.
Philip Eng is swapping with Nick Katzberg, the Austrian and the Dutchman. Okay, well, Duncan has had a word with Pascal Vasselon. Maybe there's a bit of a connection problem with the pits. Duncan, can you bring us up to speed, please?
Yes, Toby, sorry, there must be, where I'm standing, there must be a slight issue, but he tried to kind of gloss over the top of it there and said there was a slight problem, and I made a joke out of it, so the car's now away. The car's absolutely fine now. So
the only thing there could be that if they weren't sure of what fuel went in for whatever reason, when they then checked the numbers after the previous stop, you would lift off, because that would be using fuel, go to the full course yellow mat, which saves a lot of fuel, until they were sure he could make it back to the pits. Hence the reason of going back to full power mode at the exit of Arnage, because that would be a cut-off point for them, a safety point on the track where they know they could go flat out into the pit from there and lose the minimum time. So for whatever reason, looks like there's a lack of understanding there on the calculation of the actual pit stop itself, as we saw the Ginetta being wheeled back into the garage. That is the Ginetta's 46th place at the moment, the last running car.
I thought you were going to say it's 46th time it's been rolled back into the garage. For the team, it probably feels like it. This is one of those Hugh Chamberlain cars that just won't stay out of the garage. It clearly feels much more comfortable there. Charlie Robertson is at the wheel, or was at the wheel. And, you know, for those guys now, they will not be beaten by the car. They will refuse to let it stop. There's Philippe Eng out of the car at BMW. A bit of a smile on his face. BMW, like Aston Martin with a new car here this year, have had a bit of a trying time. The 82 and the 83 car, both 81 and 82, both struggled with damper issues. And Martin Tomczyk, Nicky Katsberg, Philippe Eng, they are the trio that are still going. Nicky Katsberg at the wheel of that car in 11th place, has just left the pit lane. So, well, slight moment of consternation for everybody. No idea what was going on with the Toyota. And again, you know, Toby, we said really early on in the race, Toyota have got to make sure they iron out all the silly little niggles that have cost them year after year. And here we go, we're 2 hours from the end. Oh, we might not put enough fuel in. I'm afraid that on an empty stomach, I can't really process that. I am going to have to go off and get some scran and leave you to it for half an hour.
Go and get some trough, Martin. You've done well, as always. Thank you so very much. Let's see you back towards the end of the race. You can take these cars over the finish line, and we can see exactly how it's all going to pan out. Well. We saw a Ginetta coming into the garage a moment ago, and Duncan will bring us up to speed with exactly what has happened.
Well, I'll let you do that, because if I do it, I'll see something wrong. Okay, we're in the garage again, okay? But the rule is here, this car gets to the finish. So that's what you told me. What's up this time, buddy?
We just want to wash it, give it a good clean, make sure it's presentable. No suspect issue with the alternator at the moment, so we're just, before we take it to pieces, we're just going to have a look through the data and check and see if it's a switching on and off of the alternator that's the problem, or it's actually the alternator itself.
Thanks, buddy.
Duncan, sorry to interrupt. We got the number 90 Aston Martin, the TF Sport car, and that's had a big off, and he's got out of the gravel. He's got back to terra firma, but it's just stopped. I could hear it on the limiter as he was spinning the wheels to try and get the thing out of the gravel. He's done just that, but now it's come to a very gentle stop indeed. Julian Porter joins me in the commentary box. We've got an hour and a half to go. I was absolutely banjaxed about 60 minutes ago. Now, I'm absolutely wide-eyed.
Yeah, well, I walked in. I'm just trying to get some information as well on the Toyota at the same time as trying to talk to you. I've got 2 headsets on here. It's right, never done that before, but yeah, I walked in to kind of see what was going on, and you stood up and pointed at the screen. A little bit of drama. I was like, wow, what's going on? But plenty going on, as there always has been, hasn't there, from the start?
Okay, the Aston Martins have had trouble. They are still running. That is the number 90 Aston Martin. That is Ewan Hankey, who is just stricken on the outside of the Porsche curves. Here he is. He's up behind one of the other AM cars. Oh, big spin. The back goes round once, twice. He does a couple of complete spins into the gravel. Then he gets it into first gear, proper rally style. Gets it out. Look at the wheels spinning away. And then it just grinds to a halt when he gets to the tarmac, and he's still there at the moment. Hour and a half to go. That TF Sport car is 9th in class. And we're going to have a slow zone at slow zone number 8, which is in the Porsche curves, which is where we saw Ewan Hankey have that moment with the blue Aston Martin, the older shape Aston Martin. The last time we'll see that shape racing at Le Mans. Great on board with the Porsche, the 4-litre flat 6 howling its way down the straights as Ewan Hankey can't get that thing started. Hot engines, as we know, Julian, always a bit of a pig to get going, fuel vaporizing, but modern technology gets around that much more than the old days. But now the Manitou, the teleporter, will pluck that 1,200 kilo car out towards a safe place. There is Patrick Pitlane. We spoke to him a moment ago, and he is preparing himself to get back into the Core Autosport run Porsche GT.
But just going on to that 90 cars, you said he had it full throttle go through the gravel and then just stop, team radio.
The Porsche behind you is racing for position. The Porsche behind is racing for position.
So that's on board with the BMW, a much softer purr from the BMW M8. It's topping out at just over 5,000 revs with the turbochargers squashing that air into the cylinders, as opposed to the screamer of the Porsche that you have heard a moment ago. So there is the BMW going through your shots. That is not going to be troubling the scorers too high. Earl Bamber, we are with Earl Bamber, outright winner of this race last year with Timo Bernhard and with Brendan Hartley. Timo Bernhard in the sister car, the number 94. He was running well early on, but, well, was he? I'll correct myself. It's a weekend that never really got going, I suppose. They had it off in practice. Sven Muller necessitated a new chassis. The spare car had to be brought out of the truck. And Timo Bernhard, unfortunately, retiring the number 94 car. Earl Bamber is in that white car with the red and black nose. Brendan Hartley not here this weekend. He, of course, in Toro Rosso Honda, the Formula One team, after the break that he was given towards the end of last year to return to the Red Bull fold, get into Formula One, and now he's doing a full season as a reigning World Endurance Championship champion, following his victory with the Porsche 919 come Bahrain last year in the middle of November. We're back to full speed. The BMW and the Porsche, they are battling for 11th and 12th in class. Lost a bit of time for the pair of them.
I still can't get over the Toyota thing. Short fuel or not enough fuel going in the car. As you say, not a human error. It'll be an error of the machinery potentially more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, things that I don't know, and Alan probably will, is do they fill that header tank before the pit stop? You know, those header tanks, because everybody's on a same header, i.e. the height above the pit lane floor, so that nobody has a faster fuel flow. The higher something is, the more flow it'll come out at. You know, there's no silly games that used to be played in the 956 games with magnets and bending motors and all these little games of stuff hidden in Coke cans that are massive magnets that would aid the flow of the fuel. All the little old tricks, but they've been stopped now, so it's only through gravity that the fuel goes into the car. Was there a problem with the fuel going in to the header tank?
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow zone 8 has been removed. Slow zone 8.
So we got a full circuit again here at Le Mans, or is it a bit of a steer that they've given us? I've just got this gut. We haven't got all of the facts by by about 30 or 40%, unless Duncan Vincent is on the case. Duncan, take it away.
Well, I went into the garage and I saw the lovely PR lady and I said, I need to know the truth. What happened? Driver missed the pit in. Driver missed the pit in. Pit entry wasn't there for him. He went past and he ran out of fuel, basically, because he should have been in the pit lane.
Right, but the LMP1 Toyotas are allowed to do 11 laps, not 12. Did it do 12 laps on that run? That's the next question we've got to ask. Did it do 12 laps?
One question's enough there, Toby. It should have been in the pit box. That's what they're saying. But it wasn't.
Yeah, but it's against the rules to do more than 11 laps, if I'm right, and I certainly stand to be corrected.
Well, I'm looking at Julian. I'm looking at Alan McNish's stuff, and I don't really make head or tail. He's got a very nice pen as Alan McNish, anyway. Lap 337.
BMW has a lot of power when they want it, huh? Truck is all green now. Truck is all green.
Alan doesn't look like he filled the last set of information in on the fuel stops. They were on 337, so that'd be 347, 357, which I don't know. Did he miss a well, as Duncan said there, just listening to this battle, watching this battle. BMW versus Porsche for the lower places at the minute, and yeah, so Duncan getting information there that they missed pit entry. He did another lap. Kobayashi did another lap, and did he back off when he discovered he'd missed it, and then think, oh no, I may as well keep going round, and then had to kind of like do some of it in electric power to save the fuel, to make sure that he didn't run out. Remember 12 months ago, both of the Toyotas, well, two of the Toyotas, the Kobayashi car and the Lapierre car, they had issues, and then they couldn't manage a whole lap on electric power, which they needed to get back because they'd broken everything else. So he would have wanted to use some of it on electric and then some of it on fuel to get himself around. But it puts Nakajima a lap in the lead. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the 8 car with Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima and Fernando Alonso. So yeah, Kobayashi just making a bit of an error there with what was about an hour and a half to go at the time, probably just a little bit more. As I said when I first came in, I'd only just walked in to the commentary box to have people pointing and waving. There's like a windmill going off in here. Everyone was waving their arms around. Jenson Button is back out on the racetrack. Tough time for the SMP cars. They spent many hours in the pits last night rebuilding the car. Well, no, sensor problems it was, but doing a lot of work to sort that car out. But they are now getting some mileage in. Be interested to see if Jenson Button's enjoyed it enough to kind of like come back and do more Le Mans in the future. Pablo Montoya certainly enjoyed it, as has Fernando Alonso. We saw Alonso last night. Well, it was early this morning, wasn't it, when he deep in conversation with the engineer, but smiling, happy, wasn't kind of in a mega rush to disappear out and get out of the garage. He was just enjoying being here. So it's a Toyota number 8 leading. Toyota number 7 is second. Number 3 Rebellion is in third. That's Menezes. And then it's the number 1 Rebellion with Neil Yanni on board now. It's 1 minute and 20 between those two, though. That's the thing now. 1 minute and 20 between those two. This is on board with Jenson, but let's just oh, we cut away when I said that. Never mind. G-Drive, Roman Rushinov. He still leads LMP2. 2-lap lead for him, so that's pretty nice. And hopefully no dramas for them. Remember, there was problems with their clutches. And I've just, because I went out to get some lunch, and I've got a feeling we've got another marker of doom that's been given out somewhere, because the IDEX Sport car is still in the pits and now currently sat in 47th place, and it's, well, no, it's actually out now. Even though it's got 47 on it, it is out. So that is correct. That was a clutch issue for that car. Darren Turner Nicky Tim Sorensen. This car brand new after there was a shunt in the test day. And they decided, do we build it out of the chassis that we have for the test car, or do we build a brand new one? And they decided to build a brand new one to Pro Drive. So there was split shifts going on, but it was 24 hours a day for a few days to get that car ready. This is battle, as you can see, for 11th and 12th. Remember the BMW had problems with the shock absorber in the, wow, kind of quite early on it had problems with the shock absorbers. They got themselves sorted, got themselves out. They would not really want to, they don't want to be high, but the pace has been a lot better for them. It really has been a lot better for them.
Right, I've gone quiet because I just wanted to confirm, and I did do my homework before I even got on the plane and the train and the automobiles to get here. The Toyota is only allowed by regulation, let's not have that discussion now, but it's only allowed to do 11 laps in one run. There's no point in it eggshelling the throttle, as I would call it, and saving fuel and getting another lap. They are only allowed to do 11 laps in a run. If that Toyota did 12 laps on that last run because it missed a pit in, because he missed a call or whatever, is that against the rules for the number 7 at least? Now that may not immediately affect the outright winner of this race, because the number 8 at the moment is ticking along, as you said a moment ago, Julian, with a lap's lead, but I don't know how many laps it did on that last run.
Earl Bamber out of the 93 car and Pitlane getting in the car. Well, that's an Alan McNish question, really, isn't it? So he might know the answer to that. Lots of work going on, tyre change, fuel, G-Drive boys limbering up, getting themselves ready for that pit stop. There's been a lot of this, there's a lot of tired people. Look at our cameraman's even doing the same thing. Yeah, they're all doing it. Right, okay, we're all copying G-Drive. I'm waiting to see them jump and jog on the spot with their camera towers. That would be interesting to see, but this is just going to get them a bit more awake. People are very, very tired now, and little mistakes can happen, and they've got a 2-lap lead, as I mentioned before. They do not want to mess anything up. No cross-threading of that wheel nut. No kind of like loose wheel nut. Not forgetting to put the right amount of fuel in, potentially, or something like that. So the 51 car Ferrari have had a torrid time this weekend. It's been difficult for them. The AF Course 51 car, some work going on. I think this potentially, I didn't really notice if they were in both wheel arches. That could have been a brake pad change, but you wouldn't be doing that at 1 hour 13 to go unless there was a big problem. Down towards the Porsche curves. And he's just down here where they slot off the main road and back onto the racetrack, just there. I have to say, looking at that through the camera lens just does not do it justice of how spectacular that is.
We stood there, Julian, didn't we?
Yeah, we stood there,
yeah,
Duncan.
And who got frightened?
Duncan got really frightened when we were stood there.
That's a man's corner.
It's
just
a proper corner, and that camera position just does not do it any justice. It does. It's not, you just don't see the speed because you're at the same height when you're standing there. The camera's a bit in the air and looking down, and they came through like it was just incredible, the speed they were coming
noise
through.
as they come towards it as well, Julian. You know, you can hear them howling and thinking, "Oh, good grief, here we go." And
good grief, here we go as well, Duncan. In the AF Corsa garage, the number 51 Ferrari, Daniel Serra has brought that car in, and those mechanics are all over the inside of the front right wheel arch, trying to get something all sorted there, and they don't want to be doing major heart surgery with, 71 minutes of this motor race remaining. As the Spirit of Race car comes towards us with Fishy at the wheel. Fishy Keller, he is just under a lap behind the Dempsey Proton Porsche, the number 77. That's the sort of camouflage grey, black and blue car. Yeah, my story about the Porsche curves is oh, hello, is the SMP LMP2 car running on. My story about the Porsche curves is I managed to get there for the start of the race some years ago, again with the right bib, the right accreditation, as Enzinger and Seidel look on from the back of the Porsche garage. And they came past Dr. Porsche in there as well. The cars came past on the warm-up lap, and it goes completely silent. And then you can hear them get the green light, and they all rush off to the Dunlop Tête Rouge. Then you can hear them howl down the back straight. Then it goes quiet for the chicane. Then the crescendo rises again, and then it goes quiet. And then you really can't hear them at all. And then the thunder begins to get louder and louder as they come towards you on the exit of Arnage into Porsche curves. And I was so close, I obviously couldn't, but I felt like I could lean over the inside of the concrete wall and touch them. It was so close, relatively speaking, and I stayed there for a couple of laps, and I'm sure I recorded it on video on a camera that I had at the time. I'll have it on a hard drive at home. I don't think I've ever looked back at it, but it was just brilliant and an experience that I was lucky to get and probably never get again. Proper job it was, well, proper job.
I went out last year with Louise and Alan, and I was like, wow, this is great. So I decided to go back out, and then Duncan came with us, and he was exactly the same as you. You heard them leaving the pit lane, and it went a little bit quiet, and then you could start to hear the noise building as they were coming like through Arnage and heading towards you and everything like that. But yeah, it was quite entertaining. Right, I've got some tweets in. This, not that I really understand. So let me just whiz through. The people are saying we believe 11. That'll be 11 laps. And then someone else said the 7 does 11 laps, but the 8 wheel spins from the pits.
Well, yeah, but we went through that. Yeah, we went through that with Nishi. If it did 11 laps, that's fine. But if it did 12, it's not allowed to do 12 by regulation. As I said, that's another discussion which we don't need to have, but those are the rules, and that's set in stone. In the meantime, Duncan is down there in the pits. What you got? Yeah, what you got? Take it away.
So, while Darren Turner shouts to the back of the garage to his lovely wife for a drink of something. First of all, it's been a different Le Mans for you compared to what the team must have gone through last year. How is the spirit in the camp?
Yeah, I think we're pretty good at the moment. I think the spirit's really high. Both cars are still running, just over an hour to go. And, you know, the first thing with a new car is you've got to prove that it can do 24 hours. Okay, the pace hasn't been there, but it's only the second race with the new car. It's a development phase as we go forward, and I'm sure when we get to Silverstone we'll be a bit closer to the competition.
Yeah, Paul Howard said to me, just you wait until next year and then you'll see what it can do.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at pretty much all the new cars when they've joined the championship, they don't just turn up and win straight out of the box, and there's a period of time when the teams have to understand the car, develop the car, and that's what we're going through at the moment. We finished on the best possible high we could with the old car last year, winning here at Le Mans. And now it's sort of back to reality. It's a new car, and we've just got to go through that process.
How different is the new car to the old car?
Yeah, completely different. Yeah, I mean, there's parts of this racetrack that I never knew about. One of the areas of weakness with the old car was just how you could attack the curbs, and we were always saying, looking at the competition, the parts of the track these guys were using, and we just couldn't get up there. But now we can. You know, it's been really fun. I've enjoyed driving the car this weekend. It's been a case of the team saying, push the car as hard as possible. We need to learn what may go wrong, what could break with the car. So they've given us the chance to be really aggressive, and that's been good fun.
Thanks, Darren. Have a good finish, mate.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
And there you go, not one mention of...
No, hang on, leader, on the radio.
Suzuki and box this lap and pit confirm. Fuel and tire stop, fuel and tire stop. Suzuki, we need pit confirm, It's on. Pit confirm is on. Sorry, yes.
Okay, so he'll be coming in at the end of this lap. Just going back to the Aston Martin, a brand new car, as we all know. It's done 35,000 kilometres of testing. That's 5,000 kilometres less to do a complete lap of the planet in testing. Long way around there, isn't it?
It is a long way around there, yeah.
40,075 kilometres. Had to look that up, and it's done 35.
That's a fair thing, isn't it? That really is. So
fair old lick, isn't it?
Our leader is on the pit road now in pit entry. So tyres and fuel.
bit of extra something going in the sides of the near the engine, bit of oil top up. They don't need to take the engine cover off. That's the guy with the, oh, he's gone now. Guy with the white crash helmet is obviously putting in the fuel. The guns put on the new wheels, the new rubber. Checking everything. Checking everything. The fuel's still going in, and the Japanese flags wave. There are Japanese fans that go to every round of the World Endurance Championship. Loyal is not even close to their fanaticism for the Toyota squad. There's always a flag in the back of the garage with autographs and best luck and good luck. And are they just 65 minutes away from winning the Le Mans 24 Hours?
Yeah, Duncan is down in the pits with some news. We just saw, I think it was the 51 Ferrari, wasn't it? Duncan, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, popped into the garage, the car's already gone, but it did get Daniel Serra, and he says it broke a damper. One of these things that happens, it's broken damper, new one on, car's away, all good. And he did seem quite cheery, actually.
BMW broke 2 dampers as well.
Yeah.
Dampers. Never heard of a broken damper.
But then you listen to what Darren Turner said, and he says, we've been hitting stuff we've never been hitting because the car's so strong now, blah, blah, blah. And this, I mean, all of these drivers in any category are going pretty rapidly all the time. But, you know, this pro battle was so extreme. They've been having to take as much out of this as they possibly can. And if that means hitting a bit of a curb a bit too hard in a lot of places, that's what it means. It's difficult.
It's interesting to listen on the acceleration. You know, you can hear the oomph. You can hear how quickly it is accelerating in the first parts of the straight, and then it just seems to ease off a little. It gets to VMAX quite quickly, and then it just sort of stays at 290 odd, 250, 260, look, 270, 280. 5 to 90. That 300 is 186 miles an hour. 310, and then it lifts and coasts to regenerate the electrical energy from the wheels into the motors through the drive shafts. It's putting energy that would otherwise be wasted and essentially going into the verges, going into, you know, animals on the side of the road. You know, it's just heat that's dissipated out, whereas that energy is being put back in through the drive shafts into the batteries and ready to go again. Initially it was a flywheel system that the Audis used, and it would be spinning at hundreds of thousands of revs, horrendous thousands of revs, inside a very solid box. But that was only, you know, the 2 megabyte class, then it was the 4, 6, and these Toyotas in what was the 8 megabyte class, 8 megajoule, sorry, I'm tired, megajoule class, that unloads the most amount of power. Another unstickered up nose cone for Tristan Gomendy with the Graf car.
Yeah, there's some money being made by whoever makes the front ends on these cars, isn't it, with the chassis, depending on what chassis you are.
And it's actually a truck with an awning over where the historic car paddock used to be, and there's about 6, 7 guys, and all they do is repair bodywork for Orica. Now, some bodywork might get damaged, but the cost of the bodywork means it's worth repairing. So they lay up a bit of pre-preg, the carbon fibre or the Kevlar that's already got the resin in it, and then they wrap it up, then they put the heat light on it to cure it, leave it overnight, get the gun out, get the file out that's powered by compressed air, I mean, and then they do it. Hell of a din, horrible, dirty, grotty job. They all look like they've been down a coal mine because they're all covered in carbon fibre dust, which is not nice stuff, but then they repair it. Duncan.
Yeah, Patrick Dempsey, great to have you here at Le Mans for basically what is the final hour of the Le Mans 24 hour, and still up there in the AM class, still leading the way.
Yeah, we still have a long way to go. You know, we've got Matt in the car is doing a fantastic job, really calm on the radio. He's just been very consistent all race long, and then we've got to get Chris in, finish up his time, and he'll bring it home for us.
Being the team boss, have you had to give any words of wisdom to any of the drivers or the mechanics just to keep the spirits up, because this is where it starts to really, or it can fall apart when people get a bit fatigued?
Oh yeah, and all through the night as well, we've been supporting each other. It's a really strong team. We've been together for a while now, and it's great. I mean, this is what it's about. I mean, you try to step back and enjoy the experience and take it all in, and have, you know, the emotion and the passion, and you try to get too far ahead of yourself, but I mean, this is such an incredible event, and we've seen some great driving here in the GT group, you know, across the board from the very beginning, and we just want to bring it home nice and safe and see what happens.
The very best of luck.